Well, we haven't forgotten and we won't forget about Alice Springs. Nothing is solved and perhaps things are getting even worse there. Darren Clark owns the bakery in Alice. You know him well by now. He is a passionate friend to this program and he always has a voice here. He joins me again this morning, but unfortunately, when we speak to Darren, it's rarely with good news. So Darren, welcome. How are you?
G'day, Laura. How are you? Good, mate.
You've had a bit of a rubbish weekend. Is this the, 42nd time you've been broken into now?
Yeah, that's 42. 5:38 yesterday morning. Had 3 youths enter the bakery. Caused a bit of damage, about 3 grand's worth of damage. It didn't take anything at all. So, yeah, I don't know what they were after. I think it's probably cash and car keys, which seem to be the targets at the moment.
Right, when we've spoken to you previously, you've said the targets have been, well, if it's kids, they're often looking for food as well.
Yeah, they didn't touch the food this time. So, yeah, I think they were looking for more for money and for car keys. From what I've seen, I actually had a 6-pack of beer sitting in the office I was given the other week and they didn't touch that either. So, yeah, it's a bit weird.
Yeah, and so $3,000 worth of damage. Did some of this strike you as a bit of senseless destruction as well?
Yeah, of course. You know, it's just, there's been more, a lot of business has been broken into in the last week. There's been a couple of car thefts again. So it's all starting to come back on the youth side now. A lot of our problem drinkers that we had here in town, they've moved on. They've gone south to Ceduna, Port Augusta, Whyalla, parts of Adelaide. They're in Katherine. Like, Katherine is absolutely out of control at the moment. There's ram raids in Katherine. The shopping centre got ram raided overnight. And the suburbs of Darwin and Palmerston are getting hit pretty hard. So...
Yeah, mate, we've got those pictures that you sent through of Katherine. This is at the shopping centre over the weekend as well. You say it's been ram raided. Look, you are our connection to the community here and we're so grateful for that. The Alice Facebook page that you run is still temporarily being shut down. We'll get to that in a moment. But people are still feeding you information because you're starting to make a difference. So what are people telling you? And can you give us any more insight to these pictures we're showing right now?
Well, that's Katherine overnight. So they've ram raided that shopping centre there. So that's the youths again. They've ignited the game. The youth crime's ignited. So the focus was on the alcohol here. And all the politicians and all the media were kind of focusing on the alcohol. They forgot about the youth crime because the youth crime was actually, it's been going on for 4.5 years here. So it's just reigniting again. And I was talking to the police yesterday morning, you know, more and more car thefts now in Alice. They broke into the supermarket last week 3 times. They even, in the end, they cut the roof out with an angle grinder to get in through the roof. So, you know, we're not stopping anything at the moment. We've transferred the alcohol problem to other towns. So that'll eventually come back here and land on our lap. But the youth crime here, you know, I'm just getting reports flat out. So I can't post anything at the moment. So thankfully, we've got Sky News on board that, you know, you can help get the word out for us because things are getting covered up here again. So the service vans aren't out on the road like they were a few weeks ago when the media was here, when the Prime Minister was here, when Linda Burnley was here. So they've really cut back. There was only one on the streets the other night when I was driving around. So it's really noticeable. So it's just all relaxes again. So this is what happens every time. Everything relaxes. And it'll just start to build up again now. Give it a couple of weeks and we'll be back in absolute crisis mode.
Yeah, right. So Natasha Files told us on this program that there wasn't a shortage of police in Alice Springs, but you're saying it is clearly obvious that when there was a huge media interest around Alice, there were more patrols, if you like, but now they're few and far between. Are you we're looking at these pictures from a couple of weeks ago with fights and, you know, big groups of young people out in the street late at night. Is that still happening?
No, not as bad, but it's starting to build up again. The numbers are starting to increase again, but they're hitting the suburbs. So they're hitting supermarkets in the suburbs. They're hitting businesses in the suburbs. Like mine's in an industrial area, so they've hit that out there. We actually got called out on a Saturday night because they'd broken into the backyard and there's a lot of business premises behind us. So we got them chased out on Saturday night, but then they've come back early Sunday morning. So the problem's not going away. It's all, you know, we've landed a heap of cash here on the desk and everyone's gone quiet. The services are putting their hands out ready to get some money. But things aren't going to change, Laura. I keep saying it, it's not going to change.
Well, don't say that because you're our hope and I feel like you are making a difference. But as you say, you know, the pieces, the chess pieces just being moved around at the moment. I'm really interested in what you had to say about problem drinkers and being moved on. Anecdotally, we have evidence that there are people getting off buses as far away as South Australia. They're going to Darwin.
Yeah.
What can you explain that? What's the feedback you're getting? Is this some kind of organised effort to get problem drinkers out of town? Are they doing it on their own volition? Well,
Laura, I've got a person down in South Australia that's going to try and do an interview with some Indigenous people down there because they're telling her that they've been sent there. They've been loaded on buses, Greyhound buses, and their fares are being paid to move them out of town. Like, we will get to the bottom of this eventually. So they're in Port Augusta, they're in Ceduna, Whyalla, parts of Adelaide, as I said. They're in Katherine, in big mobs in Katherine, like back bars, beer gardens in Katherine. Locals up there are asking where you're from, Alice Springs. The suburbs of Darwin are really inundated with problem drinkers from Alice Springs as well. So the problem's just been shifted out. We don't know if all of it's been organised by authorities or obviously you've taken alcohol off chronic alcoholics. So, you know, they're going to try and find it somewhere.
This is a problem, isn't it? And then you've got the NT government in Natasha Files wanting to have a ballot in these communities. It's just hard to get your head around, to be honest. So I want to talk about your Facebook page because, you know, people might think that this is just a small problem, that your Facebook page has been suspended, but this is a way for the community to connect and it's still suspended. I know that Facebook apologised to you on Friday or late last week and said they got it wrong, that they'll reinstate it, but they haven't yet. What's going on there? What are they telling you?
Well, they're going to reinstate it. I had an existing ban that was going to expire on Saturday afternoon. So they told me on Thursday the 28-day, they put a 28-day ban extra on Thursday. They took that off again on Thursday night. But then Friday afternoon, they reinstated the 28-day ban again. So, yeah, I'm in the bad books with them. The trouble with this is an awareness page. There's a lot of elderly people in town that actually look at the page to find out what's going on in the CBD before they actually venture out. So I'll try and let them know that the place is safe or watch out for this. I've found probably about 20 lost dogs for people. I've done things like that. We had a major storm cell go through here one night. Yeah. I was actually coordinating that, and the emergency services watching the page, and they actually sent me a certificate of appreciation and nominated me for Centralian of the Year because I spent 8 hours that night telling them where to go. So the page is not just about crime; it's a community page, and the focus is also we've got to actually heal this town, and we've got some plans for that. So hopefully we can, when we get back online we'll do that. But we're going to get a Twitter account going, a website. So that's all under construction at the moment. So they can bash me around, but they won't get rid of me.
No, they certainly won't. We'll help in that front as well, on that front as well. Now, we know that some politicians didn't like your Facebook page. They were openly trying to shut it down. I mean, what's the effect of you not being up and running? You say it's a community page, not all doom and gloom. It's about bringing the community together, and that's what you need the most right now in Alice, right?
We do, and actually, like, I reckon I've had 1,200 or so messages over the weekend, just people asking what's going on, and we missed the page, we don't know what's going on. I've got a lost dog. I've got this. My son's bike's been stolen, and I've got to apologise and say I can't do anything, guys, at the moment. I'm locked out. I know I've upset people in authority here, but I'm holding them to account. And I'll keep calling them out. I'll find other mediums. It's fine. But they won't beat me, and they won't beat the people of Alice Springs. They ignored us for 3 years plus, so we're not going away. We haven't forgiven them, and we're just going to keep going because we love this town, and we're together. And as I always say, Laura, they've tried to separate us with black and white. We're all together here. We're not white supremacists. We're not anything. We're just a bloody community that's doing it tough, but we want to get through it.
Yeah, we want you to as well, mate. We appreciate you taking the time out to talk to us this morning. You've always got a spot here, so thanks so much. We'll speak to you again.
Thanks, Laura. I appreciate it, mate. Cheers.